Hello and welcome to Fathers and Sons. I'm Andrew Rosario here at Madison Square Garden, where the New York Knicks are about to take on the Golden State Warriors. We spoke with Allen Houston to try to find out how the Knicks can slow down that potent Golden State offense. We also spoke with Pastor Carl Lentz from Hillsong Church as he chimed in on what he thinks about Stephen Curry. We will also have post-game reaction from both locker rooms. Pastor Carl Lentz from Hillsong Church is here at Madison Square Garden to see the Knicks take on the Golden State Warriors, and I saw you having a conversation with Stephen Curry. He seems to be one of the most down-to-earth, humble superstars in the game today.
Other than Allen Houston in this suit, he is. You know, he's done a great job of keeping his faith strong, and his humility is kind of what stands out to me. We were praying that he takes the night off, but Steph's a great guy. You know, he's been the same way throughout.
How much can you attribute that to his upbringing, his parents, and, you know, his dad was a professional basketball player at the highest level as well?
It has to have a lot to do with it, I think, especially in this culture right now. There's not a lot of dads. So when you see a guy like Steph, I think it's a credit to Dale. I think it's a credit to the family unit in general. And if you plant a seed, it's going to grow. And so you look at Steph, and I'm sure that his parents have been planting seeds, and now he's truly a man of God. Not perfect, just a guy who loves Jesus, you know? And so I love it. I love to see it. And he's nasty on the court. Sometimes people think if you're saved, you got to be soft.
Right.
Watch Steph.
How much does faith do you think plays into not only him on the court but off the court?
It's got to be everything. I don't think basketball drives Steph. I think God drives Steph. So I think when you have that right, like basketball should be a part of your life. It shouldn't be your whole life. And I think you see that in him. Like, he could take it or leave it. You know, he loves the game, but he knows that God's called him for a purpose that's even greater. And I would tell every kid in the world, watch how he does it. You know, he's honest, he loves people, he's kind, and he's nasty on the court.
I think if 9 out of 10 people were to meet you, they would not even assume that you are a pastor.
Yep.
Based on the way you dress, your demeanor, and everything. Talk to me about your faith, how you try to instill that in other people.
Yeah, I think our generation's looking for people who are just normal. I'm normal. You know, I think the generation of pastors looking a certain way. I look like a 37-year-old from New York City, and that's all we try to do is just be honest about who we are, and it appeals to some people. Other people want the traditional thing. That's cool, but we can only be who we are.
And when it comes to basketball, you're right up there in terms of fandom.
I love it. I'm a fan first. I got to know a lot of the Knicks just through church, and so I come here to support them, pray with some of the guys beforehand, and I love it. I'm going to go back over and preach the next service, but I'm here now, and yeah, it's a blessing to be here talking to you.
Thank you so much, Pastor. I appreciate it.
All right.
Allen Houston is very familiar with playing against some of the high offensive basketball players in your day. When you look at Stephen Curry, I mean, if you played against him, what mechanisms could you use defensively to not stop him but to kind of slow him down?
Well, when we used to play against guys like Michael Jordan and Kobe and T-Mac, I mean, you know that they're going to have the ball in their hands so much that they put so much pressure on the defense, and they're able to find ways to keep their other players involved. So all you really can do is try to make it very uncomfortable. You know, you have to, I mean, length and size and strength helps against anyone. So, you know, if you can put a little size and strength, but again, it's really about the team collective unit being very intense and making the catch hard, just making it as difficult as possible. So he just doesn't find any kind of real rhythm, and that's tough when people are that good. That's just why they're that good.
In terms of from the standpoint of making him play on the defensive end to make it a little bit more difficult for him on the offensive end.
Again, like any great scorer, any great player that can put the type of energy on both ends of the court, you have to force them to do that. But again, any great scorer is going to find ways to have an impact on the offensive end, but they'll figure out where to pick their spots on the defensive end. So even if there's another player that's making them work on the defensive end, they'll find a way to still compete and still have their impact on both ends.
All right, given that this is Fathers and Sons, what message would you have to other fathers in terms of raising their kids, being a role model to their kids?
Well, I think any father, once you have experienced the birth of your child, or maybe you haven't experienced it, once you know that you're a father, there's something that resonates in your spirit that makes you know that life is different now. I'm called for something bigger. I'm called for something more, and there may be a lot of men who may not have that experience because they may not have had it. But a lot of the men that I talk to and have had that experience with understand. Excuse me. They understand that it's a very high calling, and there's no recipe. I think love is unconditional. I was very fortunate to have a relationship with my father, but I think our Heavenly Father really gives us the capacity. God just gives us a capacity to be what we need to be for our children, and as long as you kind of try to understand that as much as possible, you'll be fine.
Last question. What has been the biggest challenge for you raising your kids?
Well, knowing that you're going to make mistakes. Right. You're human, and you don't let your past failures interrupt what you can be. I think for me, all I want is for my children to have their own journey and relationship with, again, the Heavenly Father, and to try to be the best they can be. And the challenge is just try to be the best example, because what you say holds a lot of weight when they see that you're doing it yourself. So I think the challenge is trying as much as possible to navigate every day. There's going to be a different piece of wisdom, piece of advice, but it's going to be a different step that you're going to have to make. Yeah.
Most of the times when people mention your team, they're talking about fireworks on offense, but talk about the defensive mindset that you guys come with every night.
Well, I think we know what we're capable of doing defensively, and we have a very strong unit from the first unit to the second unit, the guys who can go out there and defend and create some havoc. And then it starts with our big man, Andrew Bogut, who's done a great job of holding it down in the paint, cleaning things up if we have any breakdowns. And Draymond has done an excellent job of being able to switch out different positions. And I think we shoot the ball so well, our defense gets overlooked. But when we go small, we definitely cause havoc, because we got 2 or 3 guys that can guard centers and they can guard point guard. So we do a lot of switching, and we can throw teams out of their rhythm.
From your standpoint, you've been known as a staple in this league for the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
But winning the Finals MVP last year sort of took you to that next level. How did that change you in terms of winning the MVP Finals and going forward?
Nothing. It's still the same, actually. If anything, I'm just a little bit more relaxed, not as tense. I go out there with a looseness and just enjoy the game now. Knowing how to get there, going through that experience, how hard it is, and just focusing on the things that got us to that point and trying to repeat that.
Finally, everyone's talking about that magic number 72, whether or not you guys can either tie it or eclipse it. During the course of the season up to this point, what's the conversation been like for that area?
I haven't thought about it. I haven't talked about it. I hear other guys. Somebody else said that another teammate spoke about it, but I didn't hear that from any of my teammates. For us, it's just one game at a time, and we go through lows where we're playing really well and we're winning by a lot, and other times we're not playing so well. We're still squeaking out wins. So for us, it's just trying to play at a high level consistently and being ready to peak at the right time.
Thanks, Andre. Good luck this year.
Thanks.
We're good. Some great
Hey, folks, you're good for Rick's Mile 330?
He's special. He's finding his rhythm. He's very aggressive. He's also making plays. Obviously not just shooting the ball, but find open guys around plays. The team curling and guys react to him. But obviously he's making shots. It's fun to watch.
Have them come around. Kim's Rouge and Neon.
Expect ball movement, side to side, open spot. He's a huge sport. He does a lot for us. Obviously, I was playmaking the middle this year. See the floor, find the open guy. That's really know what they do. His versatility and length. So, obviously, swing the ball too. Huge for us. Put ourselves in certain situations in the offense where the player picks up a certain way or what have you. So, obviously, showing up in the stat sheet, triple doubles, beyond that, just makes it easier. What percent of the game is there? Anybody asked you to think of that? He's obviously a unique player just because of all of them.
What does it say about this team on a night when you don't have a good shooting night and it's still won by Black?
The team that's obviously been going for the last 2 years. No secret that we have to get that banner. You don't get the 44 without that. Not shooting.
Not going to get past there.
We have a lot of different weapons. We've got great chemistry. One guy's playing well at night. Vice versa. So, that continues.
I'll move 1 second. Thank you.
Actually, so much to know where to go. Defending champ rolls through DC. Ceremony, things like that. So I'm excited about that. So we take care of business first. Enjoy once again.
44 and 4 ties the top 40 games starting in NBA history. What does that mean to you?
Was good?
Just a great accomplishment. Keep going.
How would things stop for you?
Stay on that. Pace. We are finding different ways to win. Minus a couple bad halves, but then a couple back quarter here and there. What time is that? That's the mission. Mental focus.
Put that mic back on.
That's our biggest challenge. Stay with what makes us successful. Find that edge guards every single day. I wouldn't say it's mental toughness or like just physical. That's not hard.
So Dan, we're physically on right now. We're this always tweeting. How big we're going now? How we need to.
On a night where Stephon Curry did not have a great night, the Golden State Warriors showed why they are the defending NBA champions, beating the New York Knicks 116-95. It is the Knicks' 5th loss in their last 6 games. For Fathers and Sons, I'm Andrew Rosario.